in the world of today, everybody is pushing you the stories of a lot of people. And this is great because it's inspiring, but I think like either people have no idea, but people tend to want to just mimic other people. What I mean by that is that it feels to me that I was listening to an interview of Kanye West, and he was telling about, oh, I'm the next Steve Jobs, I'm the next Tesla, I'm the next Elon Musk, I'm the next this. I was like, first of all, I was like, okay, only white people, interesting. But second of all, I was like, why do you want to refer yourself to other people when you yourself, as Kanye West, you're a legend? Like, personally, one of my quotes that I live by, right? One of the quotes that I live by is, be yourself because everybody else is taken. And I'm very inspired by the creations and the dent in the universe that was created by Steve Jobs when he created Apple with Steve Wozniak. I'm inspired by the life of and the resilience of Nelson Mandela. I'm inspired by some of the African leaders on some of the good things they did. I'm inspired by Michael Jackson for his music. I'm inspired by a lot of people. Jay-Z for his achievement, from the streets to being a mogul and being one of the first to have brands, spirituals, own plantations of cigars, all that stuff. I look at that and I'm inspired, but at no moment I want to be like, when I remember people were telling me back in the day, oh, you the African Puff Daddy. I was like, no, I'm not. We don't even come from the same place. We don't even have the same trajectory. Listen, my journey is my own. And I believe most people should see their journey the way I see my journey. Meaning, your journey is your journey. And everybody else can be a source of inspiration, can be a source of learning to think about what you could do. But then you have to take all the information and fit them into your journey. I know a lot of people who made it. I know a lot of people who are trying to make it. I know a lot of people who failed to make it. And from everybody, I take inspiration. From mistakes that I've seen some artists do in the 90s, I learned to try to not recreate those in my journey whenever I would arrive to the same situation. You see what I mean? I put in the chat, Urban. So to me, it's this thing where I'm like, why would I want to just be somebody else? We can all be inspired by some parts of other people. But ultimately, because we all live inside of our own self and we all see through our own eyes, our journey is ultimately always unique and always our journey. And the journey of other people must just be an inspiration. Never, let me be I want to like follow the path of that person exactly. No, we don't come from the same cloth. All of us, we all come from different walks of life. And it was interesting. I was doing an interview that I recorded for a magazine, and it was pre-recorded, but video. And the journalist asked me a question about like like when you talk to some journalists, when they want to know your opinion about something, and when they respect your opinion, they will ask you a question that is a real question. But because journalism died long time ago, and most people now are activists disguised as journalists, that person asked me a question that has an answer inside. The question was about the struggle of Portuguese black people inside of the music industry. And my answer was, I have no clue. Because first of all, I don't come from struggle. So to be honest, I have no clue. And I'm not gonna come here and pretend that I struggled in this country when I arrived in this country 10 years ago, rich already. From everything I did, I was already making 4 times what a normal Portuguese artist makes just sleeping, because of all the work I did before. But I could not even take the struggle of minorities in France, where I grew up, because I arrived in France. My father was an ambassador for my country. So I didn't struggle from food or my struggles are different. My struggles were getting accepted by the art community, getting like heartbreaks, love, girlfriends, being understanding who I was in terms of being born in Congo, growing up between Congo and Ivory Coast, changing nationality 4 times, speaking so many languages, trying to fit in, understand who am I, like early going from Congolese culture to French culture and European pop, and trying to decide who am I, like am I French, am I all these things, and having people try to answer for you. A lot of black people believe that because you are from Congo, you're Congolese, and you have to represent in everything you do, and you have to sing in a certain way. And why are you singing Zouk? Like, there was questions people were asking me, and they didn't understand where the question were coming from back in the days. Yeah, why are you like, you Congolese? Why you sing Zouk? Like, why you think you're from the West Indies? They don't like us. I was like, what? Who told you that? And I don't think I'm from the West Indies. I just grew up listening to Zouk as well. And I did a song, it works. I'm a businessman. I was like, yo, it works? Let me do another one. Oh, it works too? Oh, let me do a third one. Oh, I make money too? Let me do more. But in the beginning, I wanted to do hip hop, but listen, this works. So I started doing this, and then I was seeing that I had influence on the whole movement, and there was stuff to do. So I just put myself into it, and I didn't really think about it that much. But some people will want to force their opinion on you, and they will want to force their journey on you. And I keep telling people, like, stop trying to force whatever you believe in people, and stop trying to force your journey onto other people. Because we might be exactly the same two people living the same thing. Let's say you are black, gay, and trans, and there's another black, gay, and trans. You might not have the same journey. You might not have come to the same place from the same path. So one person being an activist cannot force you to be activists on the same thing. And more social media, we just talked about it, a lot of people just want to have as much people in whatever is their cult. And as I was having a conversation with a friend about the journey, about how we got here and where we are going and what are my visions, my friend was telling me what was his vision. And then we have a third person that was telling us everything we said. But we were like, yeah, well, what about you? What you want to do? What do you think of doing? And for him, it was just, I don't know if he was impressed or whatever, but for him, it was just repeating what we said. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I was like, you know, something is interesting is that the way I arrived from the moment where CDs start dying and streaming start going up, I start focusing on streaming at the right time. And I started back in 2008. So I had the time to generate a catalog of 500 songs that is generating all the money it's generating today. It doesn't mean that somebody that starts now, where streaming is not starting, streaming is now. So if you start now, you will not have the same journey because the competition is not the same as when I started and there was nobody online. Everybody was still on the CD business. And I was like, fuck the CDs. Let me go to this. So my journey is unique. And everybody that was on the same path as me at that time had a similar but still unique journey. But anybody that starts now there's different problems because there's way more YouTube channels, way more artists, way more DJs. I had the conversation with Buddy Sadva yesterday. We were talking about growing old in music, growing old as a DJ, and the frustration of people wanting to always pay you less, promoters, or promoters not giving you the respect you do, all that stuff. And I was telling him, listen, if you think about it, at 48, when I stopped performing, I was 18. The people who were doing parties when I was 18, a lot of them are retired long time. When I got my first success, let's say when I was really on my apogee artistically, from 1998 till 2007, I would say, a good 10 years run. All the promoters of that time, most of the time, are students. Most of them stopped their studies and they went back to their countries, or they have a job now and they don't do parties. So the people who do parties today are in their 20s. Maybe they are teenagers still, and they don't care about an old singer that is 48. It's not their generation. They care about George, they care about Nene, they care about the new people. The same way we didn't care about the artists before us. We were respecting because we grew up on their music, but we were doing our thing. So at a point in the journey, a lot of people, they stop where it's sweet, but they forget that the journey is not over. And in an era where it's so easy to be a DJ, listen, Tractor, Auto Sync, you could. There's an app called DJ, D.J or something like that. Listen, you just select the song, it will DJ for you. So anybody can be a DJ today, as long as you do a good selection of songs. There you go. And because it's so easy because of technology to be a DJ, to be a podcaster, to be a YouTuber, to be a whoever, a singer as well. Listen, you don't need to know how to sing. Auto tune will sing. It's not, doesn't sing for you. It doesn't find melodies for you, but it will help you fix your songs. You can melodyne. Like, there's a lot of ways. If you're not a horrible singer, you still will find a way to sing. So it means that it's more easy to have 1,000 competitors, when back in the days it cost so much money to make music that it was only 10 people. So the journey was different. Today it's harder as a DJ. We were talking about this with Buddy again. It's harder as a DJ to face the competition of 100 competitors who accept to work for free or for nothing. That's why I told beat makers, like, selling beats is dead. We used to sell beats for 5,000 a beat. Today, people, listen, you can get a beat for free for $50. You can get beats for free in great quality because it's so simple to have quality samples and quality instrument. Costs you nothing to have Fruity Loops and start making beats. So the fact that the market is changing and is ever changing makes the journey ever changing as well. So my advice for people who are looking up to whoever you're looking up to, for whatever is your area of interest, or wherever you want to change the world, or you want to change something. I'm fortunate to say that it's not change. I'm part of the change of, and I influenced 3 of the biggest musical genres in Africa. So in a way, my influence in African music is felt. From Kizomba to Zouk to Coupé Décalé, the songs I did in between 98 and 2010 influenced the people that everybody is listening today, because they were kids when I was active. So those kids now are influencing the kids of today, and their journey is different because I was born in Africa and I was an immigrant in France. But a lot of them now, they either born in France and they lived in France all their life, or they're in Africa and they didn't leave. And from Africa, with technology, they can explode and become huge without leaving the continent now. And look, all the Amapiano stars, they're in South Africa. They stay there. They don't, you see what I mean? Or you have DJs right now. My wife just went to see TXC performing in Lisbon. Why? Because these people are Instagram, as even if we can criticize some stuff, it made a DJ that was dancing become so popular that now they are touring all around the world. This is amazing when you know how to use those tools. They are amazing tools. So the journey is different. From the DJ with the crates and the vinyls to now a DJ with a pen drive. We are in a different era, and what I take from inspiration from when I read stories or when I watch documentaries about creators, business people who invested in Bitcoins 10 years ago, activists, etc. I never said to myself, oh, I'm going to be exactly like that person. I always said to myself, okay, I'm going to be myself because everybody else is taken. So I can be inspired by the energy of somebody. I can be inspired by the words of somebody. But I'm always going to try to write my own story. And maybe it's because my father is a great man in my country. He's very respected, and he was part of ruling a country, and it's kind of hard to feel the shoes after that. But you see, instead of trying to become a politician myself too, and I believe in a way I am, because I'm a man of influence. In the end, I chose my own path, and I had to fight to be able to go to this path because of where I was coming from. And not only I had to fight my people, because everybody was like, wait a minute, your father came from nothing to arrive up there, and you want to go back to nothing by singing? And I was like, no, I want to express I want to do what I like. This is my talent. This is my gift. This is what I've been given. That's what my soul tells me to do. So I had to fight my people to be able. I had to fight my parents, my father. And listen, the respect I have for my parents and my father. Like, if my parent told me no music, I wouldn't have done music. So I had to, and listen, rest in peace, Mama Ikila, and all the people that convinced my father to at least let me try, because I wouldn't be here. And now my father is my father calls me Kaysha. I'm laughing all the time. Like, yo, he calls me Kaysha. Like, he calls me because he met a fan, or my father, whenever he meets a head of a state, he gives my CDs. Like, it's crazy. And that's my pride. That's my pride here. For me, that's when I was like, okay, I made it. Because my dad is proud of me. I made it. You like my music? You don't like my music? I don't give a fuck. My dad loves it, so I made it. And he pays my rent. So that's my you see, my scale of value. My parents being proud is here. Making money from it is here. Then opinions of everybody else that don't buy it but want to give me your opinion is down there. I don't care. But that's my journey. And then I still had to convince the people, like the people who didn't come from the same place as me. I had to convince them that I was worthy of being able to make music, because some people believe that you have to be born poor to make music. And yeah, I was not not born poor. It's not my fault. I didn't choose. But for a long time, I was ashamed of it. I was ashamed that my father made it. I was ashamed that my mother was a princess. I was ashamed that my mother is one of the most beautiful women in Congo. All this, I was ashamed of that, because the people made me ashamed when I was dropped into population. I was not dropped. I decided myself to leave the suburbs, the good neighborhoods in Paris, and go where the hip hop is. I went to perform. I went to do the freestyles everywhere, because that's the Zulu spirit. This is the b-boy spirit. So I went there, and in the beginning, everybody was like, "Oh, who's this cute guy rapping in English? Oh, yeah, the boy is nice." Da 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 da. But then as you get popular, some jealous people come and say, "Yeah, his father is this." Oh, and all of a sudden, people hate you, and then But that's my journey, and that's not somebody else's journey. And what I'm trying to say here is, be yourself, man. Be yourself, lady. Like, don't look at what other people did and try to mimic it, because it might not be compatible from your own Lego. Because most of us come from different things. I was telling you, my wife was raised in the Quranic school, learning surats back in Gabu in Guinea-Bissau. But before that, she was in Minsk, born under minus I don't know how many degrees, full Russia or Soviet era. And then yeah, we met each other, and that's the journey. And we don't come from the same thing, but we still found each other through both coming out of painful relationships. And this is our journey. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the same journey for my daughter. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the same journey for my son, because I will make sure that I give them what I learned. And not every person that is a black person is a victim. I'm proof of that. And not everybody that is a white person has a privilege. That's not true. All these are all the cults that are in social media that is trying to hire you, to take you and hypnotize you. I think the world today really needs a redefinition of self. Like, if we have to live in community, we also have to accept that everybody comes from different places and comes from different point of views, and everybody has the right to agree or disagree with certain things, and the right to care or not care about certain things as well. And yeah, I guess, yeah.